difference. Oh, you get all the throttle. Oh yeah, this joint is pulling. Welcome to Moto Maddox. If this is your first time visiting the channel, a huge thanks for stopping by. And don't be a stranger. Drop a comment. Let me know where you're from, what you ride, or share anything you think may be useful to the general YouTube or Moto Maddox community. And while you're here, go ahead and take a look around the channel. Watch some of the moto vlogs, the modifications or maintenance videos that I've posted. And don't forget to subscribe. If you have a Kawasaki Z900, you definitely want to subscribe to this channel and reference all the how-to videos, review videos, and other content that I've created for the Z900 platform. There's a specific Z900 modification playlist that includes content on things like full exhaust systems, aftermarket levers, seats, tires, ECU tuning, and more. And for those of you who have already subscribed, thank you for all of your support, views, comments, and engagement. I appreciate you taking this journey with me. Be sure to drop me a message on one of my videos or on IG. Thanks for watching. Alright, Moto Maddox here. About to take the first ride on the Z900. Now that we have the Stage 1 ECU tuned by Brock's Performance. This was a cold start, so I'm giving it a little bit of extra time to kind of settle in. See, the idle is a little elevated. As soon as it starts to drop down, we'll go on. Alright. So first impressions, quick shift. Throttle is smooth. I don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Throttle is smooth. Oh, you hear those pops and bangs. I did not install the AIS block off, so I'll be in store for a pretty glorious soundtrack here. Alright, so that was a little jerky taking off. Gotta get used to that. Do some quick slow speed maneuvers. Just to make sure I have the clutch engagement. And it would be good to button up this helmet. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright. Buckled in. So I gotta get used to that throttle. Slow speed takeoff. I can automatically see that when I call for full throttle, it gives me full throttle.
Oh, that's nice. That is nice. And the cool thing about the Brock's tune is that they installed the fuel map and all the other changes to every mode on the bike that uses full power. So the Kawasaki Z900 uses full power both in sport and road modes. The only difference between the sport and road modes are the traction control settings. So if I'm in either sport or road mode, I'll have the benefit of the new ECU settings, and also the rider mode, which allows you to customize the settings. Yeah, but so far it's pretty mild-mannered at low speed. Oh yeah, you can feel the difference. Oh, you get all the throttle. Oh yeah, this joint is pulling. And even when I let off, it's not as abrupt as it used to be. So the fuel cutoff has been disabled. Exactly what I was looking for. I feel like I have way more control and connection to the motorcycle now, especially with the throttle. You know, when I call for you know, acceleration, it gives it to me. There's no delay, no crazy surge, and it's pretty linear. Oh yeah, even when I'm letting off the throttle, it's still pretty smooth. You know, that engine braking is smoothed out just a little bit. I mean, you still get deceleration, but it's not as abrupt. So the Z900 was already a really nice platform, strong motor. You know, from the factory, it's rated at about 125 horsepower. You know, with a combination of a free-flowing full exhaust and optimized, you know, fuel mapping with an ECU tune like I have, you could easily expect to get about 10 horsepower conservatively. But you know, that extra 10 horsepower isn't really the biggest kind of pro or benefit. One of the bigger benefits is that, you know, those secondary throttle plates don't artificially restrict you know, the throttle and fuel and air, you know. So when you ask for 100% throttle, the bike should give you very close to 100% throttle, not a slow build-up that's controlled by the computer, which is nice. And then the top speed, not top speed, well, the top speed limit has been adjusted, but that's not the biggest thing that I was looking for. So the rev limiter has been lifted and extended a bit, I think by about 500 RPMs, maybe 1,000 RPMs. And so what that allows you to do is you can shift later, and even when the RPMs drop, you know, to 8,000 or so, you're still in that high horsepower, high torque power band. So it's not like previously where you would downshift, maybe lose 1,500 or 2,000 RPMs and drop down into a section of the power band where you didn't have most of your power. So that's exciting. So let's do a roll on in fourth. And this thing wanted to lift in fourth. That traction control kept the front wheel down, but this thing wanted to lift. That is awesome. That's exactly what I was looking for. That power on demand when I needed it. Let's do a roll on in fifth. So I didn't even have to shift down to pass, which was nice. So initial impressions, stage 1, Brock's Performance ECU Tune gets the Moto Maddox A+ initial impressions rating. It's really nice. Really nice. This bike is almost finished. It's not much more that I would need to do to it. I know every couple moto vlogs, for all you folks that have been following, much appreciated. Thanks for joining this journey with me, taking the stock Z900 with that huge muffler. It was pretty quiet. Now having this monster, all types of performance and cosmetic upgrades. Thanks for watching and going on this modification journey with me. But like I was saying before, I kind of got distracted by that pass maneuver. You may have heard me say a couple times before that, you know, the bike is almost done, but we're really getting there. Not too many more things I need to do. Kind of getting close to the last few options. So I've adjusted the motorcycle sag, which is just a general setting that everyone should do to make sure that at least the stock suspension is set up to work properly. But I have heard that, you know, this bike does get better, you know, if you upgrade some of the suspension components. So maybe that'll be another modification at some point. Maybe a rear shock, maybe some upgraded front fork components. But for the time being, no rush for that. I guess it's one of those things that you don't really know what you're missing until you experience it, so I am going to keep that as a potential option. And the last thing is maybe, you know, upgraded, you know, brake lines. But that's just when you're bored, you start going to the brake lines, especially for the type of riding that I do. So suspension maybe in the cards. This is usually one of my nice routes where I can get on it a little bit, but the road is being resurfaced, so anyone that's familiar with that knows that you don't have the best kind of traction or stability feel on this type of road. But I will say that with these Michelin Road 6s, normally I would want to be holding both bars riding across this stuff, but it's not that bad actually. Of course I'm, you know, going very reasonable speed, but yeah, it's not that bad on this road. These tires actually doing a really good job kind of keeping the bike on track. So why don't we whoa buddy, just gonna, what are we doing? So let's turn off and test a little bit more of, yeah, that's rough, acceleration and smooth acceleration into the corners. Settled and was able to accelerate smoothly out of that corner, pretty controlled. So you know, these first couple turns, even with the tune, it's not crazy. It's not like a on-off switch. You know, I can still gradually control on and off the throttle. Just like right there, very subtle, smooth roll on. But then when you ask for it, it gives it to you. Oh yeah. Goodness gracious. Very smooth. Yeah, the most noticeable change I see or feel is just the hard acceleration. It's definitely noticeable, which is nice. It's really nice. Maiden Voyage dropped performance, and there were a few other options for the Z900 and some other channels that have talked about the Moore Mafia tune. Heard good things about that. About the Moore Mafia tune, good things about that. There's also a Z900 forum that I'm on. I think it's actually called Z900 forums actually. There's a vendor there, sponsoring vendor called Two-Wheel DynoWorks. Also heard good things about those, so I'm aware of at least 3 mail-in tuners for the Z900. So I don't have experience with those other 2, but if anybody is, you know, kind of shopping around, just want to make you aware of the options that you have. This actually isn't really where I wanted to go, but whatever. Make you aware of the options that you have. And the reason why I went with Brock is because, you know, I've been looking at ECU tuning options ever since I bought the bike, but I didn't want to do that. It was the first thing. I wanted to get used to the bike and, you know, add some modifications for comfort, you know, like the seat and the levers and some cosmetic options as well. I even consider the exhaust more of a fun upgrade for me. So I wanted to get used to the bike before trying to squeeze, you know, more performance out of the bike. So I've been looking at these different tuners for quite a while. the reason why I went with Brock is because he did a pretty long video with the Z900. It might have been a 2018, 2019, and it turned out that, you know, a lot of the restrictions on these bikes are actually, you know, at the exhaust. Like the stock headers and exhaust pipes are a few millimeters smaller than, you know, a lot of the aftermarket ones. And I'll maybe post some a little pop-up graphic in the video about what the specific differences are. So once you open that up, you don't even really have to do too much playing with ignition timing on this bike, even though some tuners do make modifications there. I like the fact that Brock was pretty conservative, at least from what he was saying in the video. I don't know if that's still true for you know, how he's tuning these things now, but I even like the consideration of not even fooling around with the ignition timing. And I liked his reasoning, because, you know, you get a bad batch of gas, it's just one less thing you have to worry about. So I appreciated you know, that specificity and, you know, being pretty conservative, especially when it comes to ignition timing. So the Z900 is good to go, baby. We have it looking good, sounding good. It was already fast, but now it's stupid fast. Quote one of Brock's taglines. Not much more I need to squeeze out of this. I think it is set up really nicely. Once this thing is fully complete, what I'll do is a itemized video summarizing everything that's been done, because some folks kind of come into my channel kind of depending on what they're specifically looking for. So a lot of folks come in to look at the slip-on video that I made, and that was even before I did the full exhaust. So some people are just interested in a slip-on silencer, some people are interested in a full exhaust, so there's a video for that. Some people come in about the Road 6 tires, but independent of how some people kind of get introduced to my channel, a lot of times they'll see the bike and see modifications that I'm not even talking about in the video, and they'll ask me questions. Questions about a modification. So I think this let's go this way. I think this motorcycle, once it's fully done, and it's almost done, I'm gonna give a detailed breakdown of all the different mods in one location. And I'm gonna call it the Moto Maddox Spec Z900. Because I think it's a good spec. There are some things that that I've done to the bike that I wouldn't recommend, and I'll specify that. You know, one thing jumps out to me is the tail tidy. When I bought this bike, there weren't too many aftermarket fender eliminator kits that specifically confirmed correct fitment for the 2022, so I wound up going with the Yoshimura, which wasn't my first choice. I really wanted a Vagabond because you can reuse the stock license plate light and turn signals. With the Yoshimura, you gotta split into the splice into the wires, which is it's unnecessary, you know, really, for a fender eliminator kit, I think. So, you know, for situations like that, even though I have one component on my bike, I would recommend something else. But I mean, it's good hardware, but it's just kind of unnecessary. Yeah, this bad boy screams now. just pulling out of the corners. Oh yeah. A plus.